What makes a person captivating? What makes someone unforgettable? It's not just their looks. It's not just their intelligence. It's something deeper, something unseen. The most powerful people in history, warriors, philosophers, leaders, seducers, kings, all had something in common. They were never fully known. Bruce Lee, a martial artist, philosopher, but always an enigma. Leonardo da Vinci, a painter, scientist, inventor, but his mind was a labyrinth. Friedrich Nietzsche, a thinker who spoke in riddles, leaving people to unravel his words for generations. They understood something you are about to learn today. The less people know about you, the more they think about you. The moment you reveal everything, you lose power. Mystery is the key to influence, attraction, and control. By the end of this video, you will understand why the human mind is wired to chase the unknown, how great philosophers used mystery to make people obsessed, and how you can apply this power to your own life. If you stay until the end, you'll have a blueprint for becoming someone people can't stop thinking about. Let's begin. The mind hates unanswered questions. In psychology, there's a phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect. If a song cuts off before the final note, your brain keeps replaying it. If a TV show ends on a cliffhanger, you can't stop thinking about what happens next. If someone gives you a cryptic answer instead of a full explanation, you feel the need to dig deeper. This is why mystery works. The brain cannot stand unfinished stories. Now think about how this applies to you. If you are always available, if you always explain yourself, if you let people fully understand you, you become predictable. And predictable means forgettable. To be mysterious is to be unforgettable. Socrates, one of the greatest philosophers in history, never gave straight answers. Instead, he asked more questions. Why? Because when you force people to think for themselves, they become obsessed with finding the answer. Instead of revealing everything, hint at your thoughts. Instead of explaining yourself, let others figure you out. People respect what they must work to understand. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, once said, "He who speaks does not know. He who knows does not speak." What does this mean? True power does not come from proving yourself. It comes from holding back. The less you say, the more powerful your words become. The more unpredictable you are, the more control you have. One of the most underrated yet powerful communication skills is the ability to speak less while saying more. Think about the most charismatic, powerful, and intriguing figures in history. Did they ramble? Did they over-explain? No. They mastered strategic silence. The fastest way to lose power in a conversation? Talking too much, talking too fast, not letting silence do the work for you. Silence is not emptiness. Why speaking slowly commands respect. When you speak too fast, people assume you're nervous or desperate for approval. When you speak slowly, you project calmness and control. For example, let's take a look at the gazelle and the lion. Imagine a vast savanna. The gazelle, a fragile prey animal, moves with quick, frantic energy. Its head jerks from side to side, ears twitching at the slightest sound. It is constantly alert, constantly nervous, constantly proving that it is prey. Now, look at the lion. The lion does not rush. It does not fidget. It moves with deliberate, measured steps, each motion slow, smooth, controlled. It does not waste energy proving its dominance. It knows it is the king. This is the difference between power and weakness in the way you present yourself. When you speak too fast, like the gazelle, people sense nervousness. They feel that you are reacting to them, instead of them reacting to you. When you speak slowly, like the lion, you command attention without begging for it. You show calmness, control, and certainty. A lion does not announce its presence. Its presence is felt. And that is exactly what happens when you master the art of slowing down your speech and cultivate the power of stillness. That is the difference between the predator and the prey. Now imagine two people in a heated debate. One talks rapidly, raising his voice. The other speaks deliberately, with pauses. Who sounds more powerful? The one who controls his speech controls the room. How to use pauses to make people lean in. A well-placed pause does three things. 1. Creates suspense. People want to hear what comes next. Forces people to process your words. The weight of your message increases. 3. Shifts power in the conversation. Whoever is comfortable with silence holds control. The next time you speak, pause before answering a question. If someone asks, "What do you do for work?" Instead of immediately responding, pause, then say, "It's complicated, but let's just say I build things." This makes them want to know more. The biggest mistake people make in conversations, they give away everything too quickly. When you answer questions directly and completely, you kill curiosity. If someone asks, "Where are you from?" a normal person says, "I'm from New York." But a mysterious person will say, "Let's just say I've seen a lot of cities, but New York taught me the most." If someone asks, "What do you do for work?" instead of saying, "I'm an engineer," say, "I make things work the way they should, and sometimes the way they shouldn't." This makes them lean in and ask, "What do you mean?" Now, they're invested. Why does this work? Psychologists call this the curiosity gap, when people are given just enough information to create a question, but not enough to satisfy it. The result? They keep thinking about it. They keep thinking about you. When you explain yourself too much, you devalue your own words. Powerful people don't justify, they state. If someone says, "Why do you like philosophy?" a weak answer, "Oh, because it teaches me how to think, and I really like learning about different perspectives on life and morality." Too much information. A strong answer, "Because it reveals what most people are afraid to see." This does two things. First, it forces them to think instead of just listening. Second, it makes them respect you more, because they must work to understand you. Why people respect mystery more than clarity. What is expensive is valued. What is difficult to understand is respected. If you make yourself too easy to understand, you lose power. Once they find it too easily, they stop caring. From the moment we are born, we crave certainty. The infant cries when left alone, not knowing if its mother will return. The student panics before an exam because they don't know what will be asked. The soldier on the battlefield fears not just the enemy, but the unknown threat lurking beyond the horizon. But the most terrifying unknown? Other people. A person you cannot read is a person you cannot predict, and a person you cannot predict is a person you cannot control. This is why people respect mystery. The less they know about you, the more they wonder, and the more power you have. Take a moment to reflect on history's most feared and respected figures. Julius Caesar, whose every move was calculated, yet his full intentions remained unknown until he struck. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai who never fought with predictable patterns, making him an impossible opponent. Niccolo Machiavelli, who taught that a ruler should never reveal their full thoughts, lest they be manipulated. Uncertainty breeds respect, curiosity, and fear, all of which grant power. Why do we fear the dark? Because it could contain anything. Why do horror movies with unseen threats terrify us? Because our imagination fills in the blanks. Why do people chase after those who ignore them? Because their intentions remain uncertain. Neuroscience explains this with a concept called prediction error. Our brain constantly tries to predict what will happen next. When it encounters something unexpected, it goes into overdrive, obsessively trying to understand. This is why people fixate on those they cannot fully figure out. The moment you become fully understood, you become fully controlled. The brain rewards mystery because it demands attention. Consider these two types of people. The doormat, who is always available, always agreeable, always explaining themselves, and the enigma who speaks with purpose, reveals little, and moves unpredictably. We have talked about this subject in more details in the previous episode about the cost of being too nice. I advise you to take a look. When people can predict your every thought, reaction, and move, they start taking you for granted. If they know you'll always text first, they stop valuing your messages. If they know you'll always say yes, they stop respecting your time. If they know you'll never challenge them, they stop listening to your opinions. Predictability kills fascination. It removes challenge. It makes you forgettable. A mystery, however, lingers in the mind long after you've left the room. The world does not reward nice, agreeable people. It rewards those who command attention and leave people guessing. Leaders who are feared and respected never reveal their full hand. They create an aura of unpredictability, making others tread carefully around them. Mystery makes others seek your validation, instead of you seeking theirs. This is true in every social dynamic. In dating, the person who is too available loses value. The one who remains a little unpredictable becomes irresistible. In business, the person who speaks less, but when they do, everyone listens, is taken more seriously than the one who overshares. In friendships, the person who never reveals all of their thoughts becomes the one others admire and respect. If people think they have figured you out, they will stop caring. But if there is always something just out of reach, something they don't fully understand, they will never stop chasing. So, we've explored the power of mystery, the psychology, the philosophy, and the undeniable pull it has on the human mind. But now, the real question is, how do you live this? Because knowing is one thing. Becoming is another. Mystery is not about trickery or deception. It's not about playing games. It's about cultivating presence, control, and an aura of the unknown. It's about understanding that people only chase what they cannot fully grasp. If you master mystery, you will notice a shift in the way people interact with you. They will lean in when you speak. They will seek you out more. They will think about you long after you've left the room. Mystery is a silent force. It works in the background, unseen but undeniable. Those who master it never have to demand attention. It is given to them effortlessly. Mastering mystery requires one thing above all else: control. Control over your words, so you don't reveal too much. Control over your presence, so you remain slightly unpredictable. Control over your emotions, so you never come across as desperate for validation. Most people lack control. That's why they overshare. That's why they chase. But when you develop control, you step into a new level of power. You don't need to seek attention. Attention seeks you. You don't need to prove yourself. Your aura does it for you. This is the silent power of mystery. Now, I'll leave you with a question. One that could change the way you carry yourself forever. If someone met you today, would they still be thinking about you a week from now? Or would you be forgettable? Because the people who leave a mark on this world are never the ones who reveal everything. They are the ones who remain a mystery. The question is, are you one of them?